All right. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Street Report. I am Easy Street. That is Kwaku right there. What up, bro?
What's going on? What's going on?
Now, this guy right here has one of the hottest YouTube channels in the entire DMV, in the entire world, man. How many subscribers you got now, bro? I'm mad. I'm hating, man.
Just about at 50,000.
50,000?
Yeah,
how did you get 50,000 YouTube subscribers, man?
It's, I guess, just being consistent, just persevering. Just it's difficult to really define or give someone a strategy as to how to do it. I just say just remain consistent, and you never know when your videos may explode and may cause people to start to tune in.
One of the things that you've done with your YouTube channel is you've consistently produced movie reviews, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
All kinds of films, like not just English films, but I also see you doing some Spanish films too.
Spanish. Yeah, part of my channel is an exploration of, I guess, arts, entertainment, and culture. So within, I kind of tie everything together, and within that, I've explored some Spanish language films. I've done a lot of trailer reactions, even to some Hindi films. They have some really great action films. So yeah, I'm open-minded to everything, really. I just love it all. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of love, one of my favorite movies that we both love for 2018 was the movie Creed 2. Yeah, man, that film, Creed 2, was a very good film, man. Of course, I'm a fan of Rocky.
Likewise.
Everybody loves Rocky. Of course, this film was created by Sylvester Stallone in 1976, I believe. Now, the true story about Rocky is this. Sylvester wrote this screenplay.
Yes.
And he took it to Hollywood. The guy was damn near homeless, was, just him and his dog, down to his last buck in Hollywood, and was like, look, man, I got this screenplay. I want to produce this film, but I'm not just going to sell you my film. Hollywood tried to buy the film Rocky from him.
Yeah, I did hear about that story.
Yeah, they tried to buy it from him and was like, look, man, we'll buy the film from you, but we got somebody else that we want to play Rocky now. Like, looking forward, fast forward to 2019, I'm just thinking, who else could have played Rocky?
Yeah, exactly, except
Sylvester
Stallone.
Right, he's the only guy that could have played this, but he went ahead and negotiated a deal, and he ended up, of course, keeping the money. And this film is one of the best series of boxing films ever. Yeah. When we're talking about boxing, man, Rocky, this is one of the best ever, man.
Yeah, definitely a classic series. Started in the early '70s, and I guess that it brings us further into Rocky's story as a retired, boxer whose wife that we loved, Adrian. Adrian. Yeah, she's gone now. He's estranged from his son. So we've seen Rocky develop from the underdog to the champion to now to what happens now that his career is over and he's kind of out of the limelight. And now we bring into the fold this new character,
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Many of you may know him from Black Panther, of course.
Right.
And a host of other.
And also from the film Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station, yeah. That was actually his first film with Ryan Coogler, who directed the first Creed.
Yes.
He wasn't on the second one. Another brother who worked on the land, and I'm losing his name right now. He directed this Creed, or Creed 2. However, back to the point, we bring into the fold Michael B. Jordan's character, who is Adonis Creed, or Adonis Johnson.
Right.
He's like an estranged son of Apollo Creed.
Right.
Who, if you know the Rocky films, he's Rocky's best friend, basically, or they became good friends, trained together after they had their own wars. Then when the Russian came, the Russian ended up killing Apollo.
Yes.
So Adonis comes back. He wants to be a boxer, and he goes to the best guy he could think of, who is Rocky. And Rocky, eventually Rocky, of course, does, end up training Adonis. And now we come to where the guy who killed his father, who's Drago, the Russian, the big Russian from Rocky IV.
They set it up lovely, though.
Yeah, they did.
They did set it up lovely. And it was you know what? It was believable, too.
Yeah.
It was believable with the storyline of how they pitted the two sons against each other. And that Russian dude was very big, man.
Yeah, oh, he was huge. Like when
Big
you see
guy.
him next to, he was Michael B. Jordan. And you're exactly right. They really did. They really did make it realistic. I loved how Ivan Drago, he's the father. I love how, especially when he met with Rocky in the restaurant in Philadelphia. I loved how they kind of had this conversation, and Drago, the father, lets Rocky know that when he lost to Rocky, that basically ruined his life. He had to leave Russia. Nobody, he lost all his respect. All his
wife betrayed him.
Yeah, his wife betrayed him.
Don't come back home.
Yeah, and now
you're done.
Yeah, exactly. You're gone. And then of course that's a whole nother story we might get into.
Right.
She comes back into the fold, but and so he puts this pressure on his son to kind of avenge his name and bring back the Drago name.
Right.
So and Adonis Creed has kind of put pressure on himself within to avenge his father's death, even though he didn't really know his father, even though his wife and Rocky and his mother are kind of telling him, no, don't do it. He still feels that pressure inside.
Which is played by Felicia Rashad.
Which is played by Felicia Rashad. His wife played by Tessa Thompson, who's a great actress. So it was beautifully written, beautifully acted out, and beautifully directed as far as the progression of the transitions that the sons are going through and how they're trying to live through their fathers who clashed before and now they have to clash now.
Right. One thing that I did not like about this, there's a couple things that I did not like about this film. Number one, the first fight happened way too fast. The first fight, and I know it's editing. I know it's an editing thing, but as you can see where I've been chili bone, these guys got to work, so he's got to do some work. So we apologize for that guy walking past. We gonna leave that in there too.
Yep.
Authentic.
Ben's Chili Bowl.
With that being said, I thought that they got past the first fight too quickly in the film. It happened too quickly in the film, which led me, and it started making the film to me predictable. Like I was able to tell that, okay, wow, we're only 45 minutes into this film. He's already lost fight number one versus the Russian guy.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because predictable, I think, is probably the key word about this film. It's almost in a way a reboot or a remake of Rocky IV. And it kind of goes.
You watched Rocky IV?
Yeah.
You actually watched that joint?
Well, not.
I didn't, man.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't watch it, bro.
I've seen all of the Rocky movies,
dude,
except for the
Rocky
most
1 and 2, and then I was out, man. I don't know what happened to the other ones, man.
I watched Rocky IV. I remember watching it when I was younger on television on cable. Yeah, and it was. I mean,
so
at the time,
it was a reboot of 4. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it basically goes through the same thing where, now Ivan's son Victor Drago is now this colossal fighter that seems unbeatable.
I think I did see Rocky 4.
Okay.
Rocky 4 was when Drago killed Apollo.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So Rocky 4 is when Drago killed Apollo. Now we have his son basically killing Michael B. Jordan, but killing him. He batters him physically, but he kills his spirit. His spirit is brought back, through different trials that he's having in life. But at any rate, now we know that he's going to win the second fight. So it kind of takes away from
it's very predictable.
Exactly. We know exactly what's going to happen. By the end of the film, there's no reason to watch it, I guess you could say, at that point, other than you just want to see exactly what he has to go through to get there to beat him, because he's got his family life that's kind of bringing a little bit of stress to him because he doesn't know the condition of his newborn daughter and everything with their hearing and stuff like that. And then at the same time, he's got this big fight. He doesn't even know if he wants to fight anymore.
Oh, yeah. He was crushed, man.
Yeah, he was.
But naturally, I mean, when you get your butt kicked like that, you would want to go ahead and retire from boxing. One thing that I will say, Kwaku, is this, man. As I watched this film, I also noticed that Creed 2 was not like Creed 1 in the sense of hip hop at all. Creed 1 was a really street film set in Philadelphia. They had a lot of rap songs in it. Remember, they had the ATVs.
Yeah.
They took all of that. They stripped that whole entire element of hip hop culture out of Creed 2. I wonder why.
That's a great question. Actually, they really did strip that from Creed 1. The musical choices of Creed 2 were centered around his wife, who was a musician, so it was more of a softer.
Creed 1 was really street.
It was extremely
really street, and that's what attracted me to the film in the first place. And when I didn't see that in Creed 2, I was a little concerned, bruh. I was a little concerned.
All right, we could I'll look at it from two ways, because there's kind of two views on this situation. There's possibly the artistic view of it, or to lay out, to give a feel of where Creed is in his life. So in the first movie, he's raw. He's coming off of the streets. He's raw energy, and that hip hop brings that same raw energy.
Right.
You see exactly where he's from. He was in group homes and stuff like that. So you see like that he has that raw, gritty street feel. In the second film, in Creed 2, now he's more so, in the start of the film, he wins the championship. He's more of a Hollywood type of guy. You know, he's talking about his Mustang cars. His wife we want to see, now we're showing his family life.
A more mature version of Creed 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I can see that.
That could be one, that's one lane with it. The other part is just Hollywood trying to create a movie that's even more of a cash grab, that's going to open themselves up to even more people by bringing a sort of a softer feel, if you will.
Right.
That kind of matches more with possibly the older fans of Stallone, the older white fans of Stallone, and people that were younger in his era and that grew up with Rocky, and maybe off of Creed 1, they were like, I don't know, this is, now we're going somewhere else with Rocky. Maybe they want to come back a little bit, bring back an old story that they know that they're familiar with the Drago story, and give it a softer tone with, make Creed a little bit more likable, I guess you could say. Because to some people, he's an anti-hero. He's not like a likable guy, at least in the first film, because he was so brash. Whereas as a black person, we may understand his brashness more, relate to him more. Whereas white people may be a little bit, a little bit scared of it.
Right.
So that could be possibly why there wasn't as much.
I was a little disappointed in Hollywood. I don't know what's going on with that, Mr. Stallone. Now, I will say this. The film was okay. I'm going to go ahead and grade the film right now, okay? On a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, okay? You ready?
Ready.
I'm going to give this film a 2.5. Let me tell you why. I've already gave you a few of the reasons. I'm a hip-hop dude. When I saw Creed 1 and I saw those ATVs and they had the Meek Mill playing in the film, I was psyched. It had the energy was there. I was like, I got to see this film, and it lived up to me. Creed 1 was better than Creed 2. Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. Creed 1 was, Creed 1 took I believe took the Rocky franchise to a different level. Creed 1 to me really was almost like an Oscar-worthy type of film. And at the same time, it was an entertaining, popular type of film. Creed 2 was more of, to me, like we were kind of saying, it was an entertaining film. It had the entertaining fights in it. It was predictable, and it was more of a reboot kind of, to me, of Rocky 4 than, even though Creed was kind of takes from the essence of Rocky. Creed 2, I think, was almost exactly like Rocky 4 to a level.
Okay, grade it.
I would have to say, out of 5, I'm gonna be a little bit nicer.
Generous?
Yeah, a little bit more generous. Just because, and I'll give it a 3
okay.
out of 5. And the reason why I give it a 3 out of 5 is because although it was predictable, Yeah, and it didn't have that same energy. That's what I didn't like about the movie, was that it was super predictable. It didn't really it didn't have the same energy as Creed 1. It didn't entertain me as much as Creed 1. However, I give it a 3 and not a 2.5 because I feel like the fight scenes were very well directed. I feel like it was well written. I feel like they made Drago the father anyway. They gave us, as a Rocky fan, they gave us kind of an insight to where his life had
I like
gone
that.
from there to here. So as a Rocky fan, I feel like it was a nice movie to kind of close out the series and bring everything kind of full circle.
Right, and that's pretty much what it is, full circle. I will say this before we close out. I like the training scenes of the film.
Yeah.
The energy was there when we saw him go into the desert. We saw Creed go into the desert and train. I really like those scenes.
Yeah.
Now, closing out, because word on the street is that it's over, y'all. Yes. That is the very last film that Sylvester Stallone will play Rocky. How do you feel about that? And is it over? The whole series?
I think it's time. I think he's right by, if he's serious and it's really over, I think it should be over. I mean, we've gone through so much with the career.
We've gone through so much with Rocky.
And we've seen him from the start to basically the end. The only thing that I could say, I think that you should end the series now too, unless you come back with Creed maybe a few years from now, where now he's an older champion, or something like that, trying to get his.
Okay, let's just say let's say hypothetically that they did come back without Sylvester Stallone in the film.
Without him in the film.
Woo, boy, how do you make a Rocky film without Rocky?
I mean, yeah, exactly. The only thing that I could think of is
I don't think it's possible, man.
I don't think it's possible either. I mean, they'd have to basically kill him off, or have to have him just have a cameo.
You don't kill Rocky, man.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Sylvester Stallone didn't die in Rambo 2.
Exactly.
He definitely ain't gonna die in Rocky.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they might as well just seal it with the bow. It's done. It's over. We've had great Rocky movies. The only way I think you could bring back Rocky is if you wait maybe like 10 years from now and bring back a Creed movie where it's just an old Michael B. Jordan and he's at the end of his boxing career or something. And some way they spin it, to keep it interesting. But to bring him back like in a couple years without Sylvester Stallone, nah, that won't work.
For all my people watching this right now, especially all of you YouTubers, yo, leave a comment on both of our pages, man. I would like to know what do y'all think. Do you think that it's over? Do you think that Rocky and Sylvester Stallone just should call it quits, or should we see another Creed film after this? I'm Easy Street. That is my man right there, King Nabi, and his page is popping. I just want to let you know, okay, for all you that are watching this on YouTube, can you now subscribe to my joint? For real.
Yes,
Easy Street
please.
Show. Can I get some? Can I borrow some subscribers, man?
Everyone who is subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to Easy's channel as well.
I'm begging you. Please.
You will enjoy the content, definitely. You will enjoy the content.
And also, for all the people that are following me on Instagram and Twitter, please follow him as well.
Please, yeah.
On his social media. So, we can keep this thing popping. Go ahead and give him your stuff.
YouTube, King Nabi the Great. Instagram, same thing, King Nabi the Great. Twitter is King Nabi the Great, but with the 8, GR8, because, GREAT wouldn't fit. So it's King Nabi the GR8 on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. All right, thanks for tuning in. That is another edition of the Street Report. Special thanks to our good friends here at Ben's Chili Bowl on U Street. Stop by and get a half smoke, man.
Classic spot.
No doubt, man. Yo, if you're not from DC and you don't know about Ben's Chili Bowl, man, really, then you come to DC, you gotta come past here, man. As soon as you get off the plane. As a matter of fact, they got a Ben's Chili Bowl right at National Airport, man, or the baseball game. Or also over there on 8th Street as well.
Yep.
All right? Peace.